When you're setting up a data stewardship program, you need to start thinking of not only who to assign as data stewards and the operational framework, but also who the data stewards should report to from a data governance organization perspective. The role of the data steward is usually not a new position that is created, at least not in the early maturity stages of the data governance program, but rather a set of responsibilities being added to an existing role. That can add some complexity in figuring out the reporting structure of part of this role. So usually this is a decision that needs to be made by any or all of the following three parties. Now, the three parties are the data governance program manager or lead. In some cases, this can be the chief data officer. Also, the data governance committee or council. And lastly, the manager of the department that role currently reports into. For example, if the data stewardship is a responsibility as part of a business role, for example, a sales manager, then their supervisor or the manager of that department, for example, the director of sales, will play a role on that reporting decision. Now, the following 5 considerations need to be made when determining what the reporting structure should be. The first is the organization's culture. The data steward needs to be given the necessary authority over the data they are stewarding in order for them to be successful. They also need to have the support and sponsorship of senior management in their organization. Who that senior management should be depends on the culture. If an organization is more business than process driven, then report to the business leader than a functional head, as it will ensure further support for the data stewardship role. Second, current drivers. Consider what the current driver or drivers are for the data governance program. This will lead you to the main focus of the data stewardship program as well. What data sets to first take under the data stewardship's umbrella, and what business arm of the organization should the data steward reside under. If regulatory compliance is the main driver, then you might want to report to the manager and the legal or the privacy office or the risk office. Third, the position level. The seniority of the role that this data stewardship role is given to depends on the above factors, obviously, but also the size and structure of the organization. If the organizational structure is mostly flat or the organization is smaller in size, perhaps the position level is not an important one. For very large organizations, such as international corporations and multinationals, it will be beneficial for the data steward to be at an executive level, ideally. This sends a clear message to the whole organization of the importance in data governance, and that data needs to be treated as an asset. If that is not possible, it should at least report to an executive position in order to have exposure over business priorities and direct support from a high-level position. Fourth, the business processes and systems. Take under consideration the main business processes handling the data under question, as well as the systems where the data is created and updated the most. Identify who the business owner or the main stakeholders of each one of these processes and systems are. You can then consider to have the data steward report to that individual. If you want to know about the different types of a data steward, please read this article that I'll post in the description of the video below. And the final consideration is the structure type of the organization. There are usually 4 types of organization structures: functional, divisional, matrix, and flat. In the functional one, people who do similar tasks are grouped together in a unit or a department. For example, all graphic designers might be put in the marketing department. In a divisional structure, people are grouped into units based on the products or service that meets the needs of a certain type of customer. For example, you can be a software developer as part of the MS Office division or as part of the Xbox games division. And no, we are not being sponsored by either. The matrix is just a mix between the two that I mentioned above. And in the flat structure, there are no direct reports. Usually it is this last structure that has more authority and influence. As a conclusion, really in the end, you want the data steward to report to a person that is influential within the organization, regardless of where they are in the organization's hierarchy. You need to have them report to an individual that has access to resources, also that understands the value of data and its management, and a person that is dedicated and spends time to provide the necessary support needed to the data steward. Thank you to the sponsor of this video, Dataedo. Dataedo allows you to catalog, document, and understand your data with a data dictionary, a business glossary, and ER diagrams. Go get a free trial and check it out for yourself. You can use the following coupon code for a 10% discount on your purchase. The links are in the video's description, so start boosting your data and software initiatives today. Don't forget to check out LightsOnData.com. Here you can find more informative content such as templates and guides, best practices, articles, and other useful resources to help you with your data governance and data management questions and challenges. Please don't forget to subscribe as it's free and it will really help me out a lot. Thank you.